Hey, Tom here from the Run Testers with another Versus video. This time me and Nick are going to be taking a look at two really popular sort of budget shoes from the past few months. First of all, we've got the Nike Air Zoom Pegasus 38, and then we've got the Puma Velocity Nitro. Let's see what we both thought. Before we start, a quick disclaimer. I got my pair of Pegasus 38s from the guys over at SportsShoes. They're not paying me to do this review, so we can say whatever we want, but a big thank you to the guys for getting me a pair to test for this review. So before we take a look at these shoes, let's have a quick run through of the stats. The Nike Air Zoom Pegasus 38 is going to cost you £104.95 or $120. It weighed in for me at 294 grams in a size 8, which is 10.4 ounces, and the drop is 10 millimeters. The Puma Velocity Nitro is going to come in at £100 or $120. It weighed for me 261 grams in a men's size 8 or 9.3 ounces, and the drop is 8 millimeters. We picked these two shoes because they are in many ways very similar in what they're trying to do. They're both around the same price point. They're both daily shoes designed to be used across different types of running. And in terms of features, they're pretty similar on paper. The Nike Air Zoom Pegasus 38, if you've tried the 37, not a lot has changed in this shoe. The major update that it's had is some slight modifications to the upper. So there's a little bit more kind of cushioning, especially around the tongue section. But aside from that, it's pretty much the same shoe as the Pegasus 37. That uses a React foam midsole. There's Air Zoom technology. It sits in the front. And really, it's quite a plush shoe, so it's quite comfortable. There's a lot of padding around the whole of the upper section. And it's just a shoe designed to be really comfortable for all those sort of daily training miles that where you want a shoe that's just going to tick a lot of boxes and just feel great. Puma Velocity Nitro, sort of the same thing really. It's got quite a bit of cushioning at the bottom, which is this Nitro midsole foam, which is meant to be soft and cushioned but still have a little bit of responsiveness in it, like React foam. The upper, probably not as plush or as thick as the Pegasus 38. Pretty similar though. There's definitely a lot more cushioning around the tongue section of the Nike shoe than there is on the Puma Velocity Nitro. But other than that, they're quite similar in terms of weight and what you can expect from these shoes. And the outsoles on both the shoes are really similar as well. You can see there's a lot of rubber that covers these midsole foams, and they're really good for gripping to wet surfaces, but they're also quite nice for trail runs as well. I use both of these for kind of lighter trail runs. I probably wouldn't use them when it's really muddy, but definitely at the moment in the UK it's quite warm now and the trails are fairly dry. Brilliant shoes for kind of that versatility if you want to use them on the trails as well.
When it comes to the fit, I found that both of these shoes were true to size for me. The Nike has a little bit kind of more going on in terms of cushioning around the tongue and the collar, but not too much. I didn't find it a hot shoe, and yeah, both are comfortable for me in my usual size.
The fit for me in both of these shoes was true to size. I would say both of these shoes are quite plush shoes, so they feel really soft and kind of relaxed when you wear them. So I would say they're quite, not massively roomy, but it does feel like there's a bit of extra room in them. Not enough to go down a size because they're too big, but they are designed to have a little bit more wiggle room around the toes. They're not really a tight fit like a race shoe, but they are both very comfortable, and I've never had any issues at all with the size in both pairs.
So these are both shoes that I spent a lot of time running in. That is if we count the Peg 37 as equivalent to the Peg 38. And I would say that you should, because the changes really are pretty minimal between the two shoes. It's really just an upper update here. In terms of the ride underfoot, that big slab of React cushioning is the same on both the Pegasus 37 and 38. So the Pegasus is a really nice base training shoe. I did a lot of miles in it last year. The Peg 37, that is, as my kind of main base training shoe. That's just because it's, it's comfortable. Nice amount of React cushioning there, which I like as a cushioning. I find it quite responsive, as well as a little bit of bounce to it, but just generally protective, nice, not too heavy. Although if you go to larger sizes, I have heard it can be quite heavy. But yeah, it just provides a nice, solid ride. And what I really like about the shoe is it's got a fantastic outsole with plenty of grip here. That means I can use it actually in the forest near me almost all year round, just not when it gets really muddy, in winter. And because I use the forest for a lot of kind of base runs, especially easy runs, it's really nice to have a shoe that can handle it well, as well as going on the road comfortably when needed. I've used it for kind of steady runs as well, a bit of tempo stuff. It's not that pacey. It doesn't come alive more when you do start upping the pace in it, but you can do those runs in it. It's reasonably versatile, and yeah, it just offers a really nice, solid ride all round. However, the Puma Velocity Nitro, I think, does all of that and then a bit more. It's just basically a bit more versatile than the Nike, I find. It's a bit lighter. There's more kind of pop and responsiveness to this Nitro, kind of nitrogen infused EVA foam, though there is some other foam in here as well to add to durability, but it just provides a slightly more fun, bouncy ride, dare I say it. There's a little bit of softness there, but it does kind of spring forward nicely, and it does mean you can use this shoe for faster runs than the Nike, I found. I actually have this pretty close to being an all-rounder, especially when it comes to speed sessions that are more geared towards things like the marathon, so longer speed sessions. So I use this shoe for kind of a lot of easy running, easy to steady running, and I was so impressed by it that I used it for one of my absolute key marathon sessions just before a big marathon, which was 6 rounds of 3K at 340 per K pace with a kind of a K float recovery between, and it just cruised through. It's really protective. My legs weren't getting tired at the end of that. It handled the pace really easily. I was able to kick it up actually for the last 3K of that, just because I was feeling so good, and just performs beautifully for that kind of run, which I just don't expect from a shoe that is built more for easy running. It's also got, like the Nike, a really fantastic outsole. This Puma grip is very, very good on wet roads, taking sharp corners at speed. Don't think it performs quite as well when you do go onto light trails as the Nike, but it still can be used there, just maybe not, in kind of late autumn as I would use the Nike. So I do think it's a fantastic all-round shoe. I think it does what the Nike does, maybe a little bit better, just because it is that bit more versatile for that kind of speedier running, while still being very comfortable for your easy runs.
So I've done about 50 miles in both of these shoes now, and they are, as I said earlier, very similar shoes. They do a very similar job, which is just those kind of versatile daily training miles where you want to be able to do a bit of everything. You want to be able to run slow, you want to be able to run long, you want comfort, you want cushioning, you want durability, and both shoes, they have all of that stuff. When it comes to shoes at the Run Testers, one of the most exciting shoes we can ever find is a really good value, kind of more budget option, and both these shoes do that really well. You're getting, with both options here, you're getting a shoe that has a lot of tech in it, which you're probably going to find in a lot of more expensive shoes. So these are great value options. I would say that I have been gravitating slightly towards the Velocity Nitro, not because it's massively different. I still think this is the Nike Pegasus 38 is a really good shoe, and I definitely would wear this for my daily training miles. But this just pips it for me. It just feels a little bit like you can do more in it. And I know Nick talks about this as well. And me and Nick have talked about this shoe many, many times. And it crops up in a lot of conversations where it just, as a budget trainer, it's just such a great option. But it just pips the Nike Pegasus 38 for me in a lot of ways. It just feels a little bit faster. It just feels a little bit softer, but without feeling slow or sluggish. That Nitro foam is just fantastic for responsiveness and cushioning and just an all-round versatile, enjoyable ride. Whereas the Nike Air Zoom Pegasus 38, for me, that React foam feels a little bit denser. It just feels a little bit more, a little bit harder, a little bit more sluggish for me. Not massively bad, but I think if I was pushed to go out for a faster run or a tempo run, I'm definitely going to go for the Puma out of these two shoes, because I just think this just feels a little bit like it's deadening the speed a bit, whereas the Puma just feels fantastic, and you can go a lot faster. It feels like you can go a lot faster in it. That outsole on both of them is fantastic. I don't think there's any difference really in what you're getting from both of those. It's after 50 miles, it's looking really durable on both of those. There's no signs of wear or tear on them. So I think these shoes are really well designed for durability and value for money. And when you consider that both of these sit around the £100 mark, that is great value. My favorite use for these shoes is, I'd probably say, those kind of runs where I'm heading out of the house. I don't have a particular goal in mind. I'm not trying to go fast. I don't want to go for like a 25 kilometer slow run, but I'm just maybe doing between 10k and 15k, I'd say, and I just want to go out and just get the miles done with a shoe that I'm not too worried about using up. Like, I don't want to, like some of the shoes I've got in my rotation, I don't want to wear them down because they're not as durable as some of my other shoes. Whereas these, one, I don't mind if they wear down because they're a lot cheaper than some of the more advanced shoes that I've got. But also, I don't think they will wear down because they're really doing a great job at in terms of durability so far. So I think they're going to last a while.
So the Pegasus 38 and the Puma Velocity Nitro are probably my two kind of favourite easy day shoes, just because they provide a really nice balance of price and performance and durability. Especially the Nike, I think it's going to be a really durable shoe, and it has that really great outsole that does mean you can take it off-road quite comfortably a lot of the time, I find. The fact that they're both around the £100 mark is just fantastic as well. I think I just don't really want to spend much more than that on a shoe that I'm primarily using for base runs. I'd rather save my money for kind of really expensive racing shoes. However, you've got to pick between the two, and for me, the Velocity Nitro is the clear winner. Like last year, I used the Peg 37 as kind of my base easy shoe a lot of the time. Peg 38 is very similar to that shoe, but just the difference this year is the fact that this shoe exists, and it's just such a stunning performer, I think, for £100, just performing well over such a broad range of runs. It might lack, the top end speed for really short, sharp sessions on something like the track or, racing 5k, but outside of that, it really has got a lot of speed in there, I found, while still being very comfortable, cushy, lovely for your easy runs, even pure recovery runs. Great for tempo, great for steady stuff, and good for kind of like I say, those longer speed sessions. It's just a really nice all-round shoe. Puma really knocked it out of the park with this shoe from its current range. So yeah, my pick is the Puma Velocity Nitro. Nike Pegasus 38 is still a great shoe. It probably has the edge in a couple of areas. I think it might be more durable just because React foam is so durable, and that outsole is even thicker than the one on the Puma. And like I say, it does perform, I think, slightly better on kind of slightly slippery trails. But these are mainly designed to be road shoes, and the Puma's fantastic on that front with this Puma grip outsole, which is really sensational on wet pavements. So yeah, two nice shoes, but I would be getting the Puma Velocity Nitro unless you can find the Pegasus 37 or 38 for something like 50 quid, 70 quid in a big sale, in which case you might, it's still a very good shoe. You might want to go for the cheaper option there, even though at RRP the Puma is slightly cheaper.
Verdict for me, both very good value shoes. I think if you compared these with a lot of the more expensive shoes on the market at the moment, they're going to come up pretty close. And for me, I think the Puma Velocity Nitro is probably up there with some of the other shoes that are a lot more expensive than it. Maybe something like the Fresh Foam, New Balance Fresh Foam 1080 V11. There's not a lot in it. I think this is very similar in terms of what you're getting from it, and it's about £30 or £40 cheaper. Same goes with the Nike Pegasus. It's got a lot of tech in there that Nike have added to their more advanced shoes, like the Infinity Run range and things like that React foam, and you're getting a lot of what you're getting in those shoes in this shoe for around £100. So it's a great value option. So I think both of these are really good value, and it really comes down to I think the Puma Velocity Nitro for me just takes the win, and it's just got a little bit more in a lot of areas that the Nike Air Zoom Pegasus 38 doesn't have. But I think that might just be preference as well. I'm not a big fan of the hardness of the Pegasus 38. I don't particularly like React foam as much as I like some other foams. That might just be me. So it might be that this is a great option for you for especially around that price point. For me, the Puma Velocity Nitro, just a little bit bouncier, a little bit softer, and just feels a little bit choppier. You can just, I feel like I can pick up the pace a bit more in this, and it doesn't feel sluggish in any way. So yeah, probably the best budget options, or two of the main best budget options you're going to get at the moment, around £100. And both good options, but I would go for the Puma Velocity Nitro all the way. Thanks a lot for watching another of our videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe and click the little bell icon. It really does make a difference. And also check out all the other videos we've got, because we have loads of videos from the latest road and trail shoes to all the latest watches and running headphones that you might want to know about, just to make your running a little bit more enjoyable. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you soon.